What is up, guys, and welcome to the start of season 1 of my F1 2016 career mode. And I have never been so excited. Well, not excited, but really looking forward to doing a race this much on the game. And I'm just really looking forward to getting into weekend, seeing what we can do with our first race with Ferrari. And I'm not particularly good around Australia, I'll give you that, but I am really looking forward to getting into this career mode. So yeah, let's do it. Let's see what we can do here. And we've got a message here. Hi Ali, it's a new year and with it become new opportunities. Everyone on the team wishes you well and is looking forward to helping you deliver a successful and exciting season. Following on your performance last year, we're expecting you to finish in 7th place. Sincerely, the Scuderia Ferrari team. We've lost all our resource points from our previous career to Rosso, as you can see, was on 0. We've still got Valtteri Bottas as our teammate, and so yeah, I'm looking to upgrade engine power, and it seems to have upgraded so little, and I don't know why, but hopefully we'll be looking to get Ferrari to the top here. And Sebastian Vettel is our teammate, so I've continued in my mentor's footsteps here at Ferrari, and going back to season 1, I mean, getting 3 wins in Toro Rosso is interesting. So let's get into practice 1.
Welcome to our viewers from around the globe. You join us just as today's practice session for the Australian Grand Prix is about to start. Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting corners and running wide? What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
Well, I'd be disappointed if we didn't, frankly. If race control want to clamp down on drivers wandering off the track, then it's up to them to police it. As a driver, you're being paid to get your car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the advantageous line, then you're not doing your job properly. Now, I agree that, we have these white lines there for a reason, and we do want to see those limits enforced, but for me, it's not the driver's responsibility to do that.
So here we are in practice 1 for the Australian Grand Prix. And I haven't tested it. I don't know how this car will handle here. But looking at the race, not the race, but the weekend weather, it's the only wet really area is P3, and I don't really take part in that. So we're going to go into track acclimatization first, and just to get through the gears of this car, because obviously there's no testing program. But we get a green lap here on our first lap in track acclimatization, which isn't bad. And on our second lap here, as you can see, I always notice a lot of understeer, and I don't know why, but it was quite a dog to handle. But we get purple here, and just to test out the car, I just decided to go out on a decent lap, and I decided to do it on the soft tyres here, because we don't really do tyre management at the moment, because I don't really feel it's that useful. And if I was going to do time management, I'd probably do it for how my normal driving style, so how I drive, so now to show me the actual what projected tyre wear for me is. So I'm just going to show you the highlights of this few laps. And really, the first thing I noticed about this car was that it was a real dog to handle. Like going through like the second sector, I always had a bit of a tank slapper. It's very oversteery. There's not much understeer. As you can see here, losing it again. But we're going to go into practice 2 here and see what we can do here with the qualifying pace here, as we're going to go into it now. And coming across for our first lap, we didn't really improve on that very much. We're going on to our second lap now. Again, we don't really improve, and so I thought I'd go on for a third lap. Of course, I'm not very good on 1 lap pace here, usually in qualifying. Now it's going to be a bit of a problem with 3 qualifying sessions. But here, on the third lap, I lose, and again with the tank slapper, and lose a big chunk of my front wing. So that was the end of that. So let's get into qualifying.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
Well, tyre management is key here, specifically the rears. It's all too easy to overheat and wear the rear tyres as they're punished out of the low-speed corners. Most teams won't be able to avoid some kind of issue here, especially the teams that are running less downforce.
So here we are in Q1 for the first qualifying session, and I decided to go out on the super softs as per usual. You usually go out on the softs in Q2, and we're going to put the fuel down to minimum. And honestly, today the car, it just wasn't really feeling great. As we're going to come across for a first lap, we're behind a lot. We're the fourth best team, but we couldn't do very well, and I don't know why. I think it's because of the straight line speed in the setup. You can't really get a decent setup around here. As we can see, we're just 2 places above the dropout zone here, with a few minutes to go in the session. And instead, to try and get some better fortunes here, I put my front wing aero to around 8, and to get some better downforce, which I thought might help. Obviously, still with minimum fuel as well. But on our first lap, we always improved in the first sector. We were so terrible in the second and third. Like, it wasn't that much of a gain. I really decided just to push on. Besides, you can see that we didn't improve a lot there, as I ran out of fuel on my final lap, and I didn't. It said we have the pace to qualify easily there, which I really don't think is true, as I get knocked out in Q1. I really fucked up, so hopefully you can do better in the race. But let's get into the race and see what we can do.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I won't be commentating alone today, of course. Nope, I have the honour to share this commentary box with none other than Anthony Davidson. And you and I were talking earlier today about how tight that midfield battle is compared to the last couple of years. Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose the main reason is simply stability in the regulations. Look at what we had towards the end of the V8 era. In 2012, we had 7 winners in 7 races. We talk about the dominance of Red Bull at that time, but their advantage was rarely more than 2 or 3 tenths of a second. And we've had this current formula now for a couple of years, and that serves to solve any teething troubles with reliability. Let's not forget that these cars are more technical than ever before, so it was always going to take a bit of time for those gaps to come down.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
So we are here on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix, and I decided to switch around a bit because I didn't really trust that strategy. I wanted to go have more grip at the end, so I switched a first soft stint to a medium tyre and then moved it back 1 lap, and then decided to push the soft forward another lap to really get the best grip possible at the start and end of the race, as well as putting more fuel in. And so we're going to get into the race here, as for the first time in the 2017 season we're going to go to 5 red lights as we put it up into rich mix, and it's away we go for the Australian Grand Prix, and we get a really good start as our odd teammate there doesn't get a very good start. So we get past 2 in about 400 metres, so we're going to dive down the inside of those cars of Palmer. We're going to leave them the space and go around the outside here. Fiat's going slowly through the apex, and Palmer's going to try to come around the outside here, but obviously we're going to dive down the inside of all of these cars here, of that Haas, of Grosjean and Alonso there, as we go up in 7th place in this first lap, so getting 10 positions already, which isn't bad in the grand scheme of things, but we've got so much pace at the start of the lap. I guess our race pace reflects our qualifying pace. We're really good on race pace, but not on qualifying pace. So we're going to just try to stick behind Rosberg here as we've caught him up, and we're just going to do a dive ball move down the inside and get the job done as we get up into 6th place here. But we're not done there yet. Oh no, we're not done by any scheme, as we're going to get in the slipstream of Bottas here in lap 2 as we go into lap 3, maybe dive down the inside as we brake later than him, but he tried to hang around the outside and we leave him the space to come through, but we get the position done down the inside of turn 1, so I think we're doing pretty well here. And next up is our teammate of Sebastian Vettel, so let's see if we can try to catch him up as he's stuck behind Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton went off into the distance, and we have now got DRS on our teammate here, as we are really fast to get in the slipstream, as we're going to dive down the inside. And now we go down the inside as he tries to hang around the outside and we leave him the space as he just hangs it through. But we're going to do the switchback and try to get DRS again. This time we would surely get the move done. And we're just going to dive down the inside, try to hang it around the outside again, but he's just going to slot behind us as we get up into 4th place. But now here on lap 7, Vettel pitted and a lot of the front runners pitted, and we're going to go in for our pit stop as we're going to slow down to get to the pit limiter, which is really slow for 37 miles an hour. Obviously second garage, so we're going to get a much faster pit stop as we're going on to the medium tyres, as I said, but we get held by Hulkenberg, so that's going to let so that's going to be a delay of about 1 or 2 seconds, which is really annoying. Hopefully we're going to get out ahead of our teammate, but I don't think we are as Vettel goes past, and hopefully we get ahead of Magnussen here, which we don't. We maybe try to dive down the inside, but obviously he's got the racing line. We get ahead of their line, but we're going to have to try and chase to get ahead of our teammate again. And now here in lap 9 we've caught up with him, and he's going so slow. He's on with such worn soft tyres. We're somehow faster than him on mediums, as we see Rosberg's caught up to us now, maybe looking for a move, but we need to get ahead of Magnussen to get him in front of Rosberg to hold him up so we can gain as much as a gap to him as possible, as we're going to dive down the inside here of Magnussen, coming to the end of the lap at the penultimate corner as we get DRS. So I think we're going to go faster, but I think Magnussen will probably be overtaken at the end of that straight anyway. But now, see the green flag as we see Pascal Wehrlein's now out of the race, and I think as we get on the grass the VSC is deployed, which saves us, and now the VSC is ending, so that gave Rosberg a chance to catch up because I'm terrible under VSC conditions. So, and a little less than a sector later, he's already up our gearbox, and he's just going to fly past us with DRS and that Mercedes straight line speed. I mean, just look at that. Maybe try to hang around the outside, but maybe wanted to do the switchback as well. We tried to squeeze him out there, but obviously he comes back on racing line, so we have to kind of swerve away as we kind of get a tiny bit of understeer there coming through the apex of the corner, but he gets above us. And now Kvyat's come out the pits here, as we've just been in no man's land. We've just been driving our own race, trying to just get there. And as you can see, we're in lean mixes. We needed to save fuel after that, after running a rich mix for so long, as we get a bollard stuck to try and defend Kvyat here. And now on lap 15 again, we see Kvyat maybe trying to look for a move, as I see him coming just a bit late, so I try and move down the inside to protect the inside line. He's obviously on fresher mediums than us, as Ricardo, as you can see, ahead of us on mediums as well. And here on lap 15, he makes contact with us, a bit of a dirty move, as he tries to come down the inside of us again, which is, you can't really overtake there, but obviously that gives us a worse line coming through. So he comes so he tries to come down our inside again, but obviously that doesn't work again as we hit the curb and keep it up in what was net 4th place here. But obviously Kvyat's going to try to come down our inside here, as we just hang around the outside again. But obviously that really dampens, but really puts us at our worst run. So we try to hold the inside line here, as again we brake and we just keep the positions. This is really good racing here. The road team, the guy who replaced me at Toro Rosso, or just went back to Toro Rosso here. But now he's going to come, maybe try to come around our outside here. Yes, he is. Coming through to turn 15 and 16 chicane, I think. That's probably wrong, but where we're terrible. But it doesn't move. We don't move. We're still battling him, coming on to lap 18 here. As we're terrible through that sector, as we're caused a bit napping here, as I didn't think he was that far ahead of us. So he tries to come around their outside, but we hold the position as we hit the curb. But now coming on to lap 19, he has a much better run as he gets past us with DRS with fresher tyres. And that's the end of that battle. I mean, I think we're going to maybe try to get in his slipstream, but like, now Sainz trying to get in the equation, but no, we're too far away. It's Fiat gets position, and what a battle! But we're going to go into the pits here on lap 19 as well. Just scheduled pit stop as we slow down enough, as we're going on to a set of softs now. And so far, the strategy has worked well. We've had a lot of grip, and the VSC is deployed, which might just help us, as I think that a few cars could possibly got ahead of us. Yeah, like Haryanto's now ahead of us, and I could see my teammate coming through the final set of corners, and now we see Magnussen. He can't come ahead of us. We jump with him in the pits, as yeah, we get ahead of our teammates, so I think we're still in around 4th place, net 4th place. But the VSC is ending here on lap 20, so we're going to get racing and maybe try to pull a gap to Magnussen away and maybe catch up to those behind us, as we've got fresher, grippier, soft tyres. And now, going through the end of the 3rd section, you can see just how much grip we've got and how much speed we've got, as we're going to open the DRS on Haryanto. Haryanto with that greater straight line speed, remember, within the manner Mercedes, but I think we're just going to dive down the inside here with DRS and with fresher tyres. We're just going to get the move done as we get up into 7th place here, and I assume more people are going to be pitting here, and so yeah, going on as we're going on to the next lap. We see the yellow flag coming through as we see Ricciardo spun round and Button held up by Sainz, and so I'm guessing they made contact. And I remember hearing that Ricciardo had a problem with the engineer, didn't specifically specify what, but he definitely had a problem. As we can see him here, just kind of smoking, I think that is, coming through the 2nd sector. And I don't know if that's an engine problem or what, but anyway, we get up and we're just in 4th place. But now Sainz has catch up to us on lap 28 here, and we've got around the same grip now as mine, where faster. And he maybe tries to come around our outside. Now, coming on to here, into the final lap, we're battling with our teammate for 4th place. A Toro Rosso against a Ferrari. Usually a Ferrari would win, as they have the better car. But who knows here, as he may try to go for a move down the outside, which doesn't really work. And so, but he's not going to give up. He's not going to not fight me. And I know that from being teammates with him, as we see Lewis Hamilton winning the race here. And so on the final lap, we see him trying to come around our outside. This would be great spectating for viewers, as he just tries to hang it there, but he's just too far back. He's not going to make it. As we're just going to come through this 3rd sector here, and just watching my mirrors, knowing that he could come back at any moment, as he is in a better car. But I don't think he is, as we're going to come through the final corner, as in our first race for Ferrari, we come back from 17th on the grid to get 4th place. What a result, and what a comeback for this weekend.
Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Purity and patience in difficult.
Well, there we have it. I mean, what an amazing thing. And look how many stop-go penalties that everyone got. I mean, Bottas got one, Hulkenberg got one, and Ricciardo got like 3 or 4 stop-go penalties. No, there's more. There's way more. Wow. I think, yeah, that's how Button got out of the race. He was hit by Ricciardo. So, but I will definitely take 4th place here. And watching the Red Bulls implode this weekend, getting 2nd and 1st on the grid, is, I wouldn't say hilarious, but maybe it could have happened to us here. And I think that I'm really happy with that result. So let's see what we can do if we have any resource points as we finish the first race of the season. But there's not really much we can do, really, as we're going to have to wait a few races to get those resource points. And we're obviously going to upgrade engine power first. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're excited for Season 2 as well. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you later.